Hello everybody. I wanted to talk to you today about the Glock 42, and this isn't going to actually be our review. Look for that in an upcoming video. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the feed issues that people have had with the Glock 42 and some of the things that Glock has done about it. And if you've got one of the earlier ones that's encountering feed issues, what your options are. So this is one of the earlier Glock 42s. Got it when after they announced it at SHOT Show. The next Monday I ordered it, had it 3 or 4 days after it was available. So this was one of the first group of Glock 42s to come out. And it proved to be rather ammo sensitive. It didn't like pointy ammo like the Hornady, Zombie Max, or Critical Duty. It would feed round nose ammo quite well, but even doing that, it had a tendency to kind of hang up a little bit. As the slide closed, you'd feel a little bit of a kind of a jitter, and then it would go in. Every once in a while it wouldn't go into battery initially, and you'd have to hit it, which is not characteristic at all of Glock. Typically they're not ammo sensitive, and they tend to cycle reliably every time. The other thing that I'd noticed with this pistol is it was advertised as having a similar, the basic standard Glock Trigger, 5.5 pounds. This one was coming in a little over 9 pounds, and another one that I had was coming in around 6.5 pounds, and the trigger didn't feel like your typical Glock trigger. After it ran for a while, polished the trigger, it smoothed out a little bit, but the ammo sensitivity didn't go away even after it had been cycled a number of times. So after a period of time, I decided to call Glock and see if they had made any changes, because some of the things I saw in the newer ones, nobody was having trouble with them. And they have. They've made several engineering changes to these. And in typical Glock fashion, if you call them up and send it back, they'll upgrade it to the latest parts. So I'm going to show you ways you can tell whether or not you've got the latest parts if you choose to take it apart. And you can also, what to look for when you go to send it back. So first thing I'll note is this particular one has had the sights changed. These are TFO sights. One of the things when you send a Glock back to Glock, you want to send it back in factory configuration. They will replace anything that you've polished, altered, replaced with the stock configuration, and they'll try to remember to send back the old ones, but they don't promise it. So if you put, on some of the others, you put in a ghost connector or any of those, you want to take those out and put the factory parts back. So I'm going to go ahead, first we'll show clear, and I'm going to take this apart and show you some of the differences after having been back. Number one, when this gun came back, the trigger was almost exactly 5.5 pounds, just like every other one. Both of them went back. When they came back, the triggers were identical. But they've changed several things. One thing that they changed is the magazines. And they replaced all my magazines, even the ones that I'd bought aftermarket that were Glock magazines. But you'll see that there's a little 2. See if we can get it to focus. That 02. The original magazines just said 33-249. The new ones came back with an 02. So if you do send one back, any of your magazines that don't have an 02, send them back with it and they'll replace them with the 02s. They made a couple changes to these magazines. The biggest change is, and I don't have one of the originals to compare because I sent them all back, but this notch at the front of the follower is a little different. And the height of this notch on the front of the magazine is a little bit different. And this is going to change the feed angles a little bit. This probably had a lot to do with the pointy ammo versus rounded ammo and its tolerance of that. By the way, while I'm taking this apart, I'll also let you know that Glock paid for shipping both ways, and it took less than 2 weeks from start to finish to get the gun back and ready to go. Lock and block did not change, but this did, the slide stop. This was implicated in a lot of issues people were talking about where it would fail to lock back. And let's see if I can get this where you can see it. Right here on is the part number, and you see the -1. That's the revision that they did, so I can get the camera to cooperate and focus on this. There you go, roll that out. See the -1? That's the updated slide stop. What was happening with some of these is the slide stop was catching on the case of the bullet and holding the slide stop up, causing it to lock back and stay locked back, or in some cases was causing it to not lock back. So this they replaced. The trigger block has a 2 stamped on it, right there. And I'm suspecting this is what was related to bringing the trigger pull in line with the standard Glock trigger pull. So you'll find a 2 embossed right there. So here's how you can tell, at least as of the making of this video, and I just got these back about 2-3 weeks ago, that the current setting for all of these parts are these suffixed parts. So if you find that yours is being ammo sensitive, you take it apart and you find that any of your part numbers are below this, just call Glock up and tell them you're having problems with feed, feed issues. They'll issue an RMA, and they'll issue you a UPS or FedEx, depending on their mood at the time, call tag. You drop it, box it up, drop it off, send it back. They will make the necessary repairs, send it back to you. A few things to consider when you're doing this. Number one, there can be no ammo. Not in the case, not in the magazine, not in the gun. It must be unloaded and no ammo present whatsoever. Don't send anything back with it that's not part of what you want service. Obviously you would send the magazines, but don't send any of the other accessories that you may have. If you've put any aftermarket parts on the gun, put back the factory parts unless you're willing to give up the aftermarket parts. For example, I had polished my trigger bars, but I wanted to ensure that I had the latest trigger bar, so I put the polished trigger bars in. They replaced them with the original Glock ones, and I had to repolish them. But if you've added, for example, these TFO sights I put on after I got it back, if I had put those on before, I'd need to take them off. But when this gun came back, this one and its brother, they now work flawlessly. They'll eat anything. And the triggers are both consistently, before polishing, 5.5 pounds. Now they're right around 5 pounds with the polish on them. And the guns are just flawless now. So, as usual, Glock is standing behind the product. Hopefully this helps. If you like our video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.